Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. It worked. It finally worked. I am KG Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. Welcome to episode 161 of Folks Talkin Sports. I'm referencing it worked because I finally got the Twitch stream to work. So
Nice.
Brand new Folks Talkin Sports is on Twitch as Kennetra Pulliams joins as her new pad. So hello to you, KP. How are you? And Brother Gibson, how are you?
Fantastic. How's everybody?
Doing well, doing well. KP, I'm glad you popped in because I wanted to play the comments from one of the vice presidents of the WNBPA, one Miss Napheesa Collier, from Tuesday's press conference about Kathy Engelbert, and that will be the beginning of our episode 161 of Folks Talkin Sports, and then we'll get into Engelbert's reaction, all that stuff, Big Ten, etc. But we're going to have fun here on Folks Talkin Sports as you're watching on Facebook, perhaps LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitch tonight here on all these platforms for Folks Talkin Sports as this new software continues to help the evolution of programs, live streams available to the Houston Roundball Review Media Group. Without further ado, oh, and also, as you're watching on the platforms, stay here because I'm going to show, if you missed it Saturday, going to show some footage, some clips of the rings that the Houston Cougars men's basketball team received for their successful season and getting to the championship game. These are some these are some really, really impressive rings, Will, KP, and audience. But first things first, here we go with Miss Napheesa Collier.
All right. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Mercury for advancing to the finals. And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money. It isn't ratings or even missed calls or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is a lack of accountability from our leaders. Sorry, I had to walk here in my boot. Okay. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Kathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $60 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's the mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them. I have the privilege of watching my husband run a league where he has to balance 100 different things at once. I won't pretend the job is easy, but even with all of that on his plate, he always takes the time to reach out to players when he sees an injury, whether it's Unrivaled or even during the WNBA season. That is what leadership looks like. It's the human element. It's basic integrity, and it's the bare minimum any leader should embody. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results than this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Kathy. Not one call, not one text, Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating, and it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take. I've finally grown tired. For too long, I have tried to have these conversations in private, but it's clear there is no intention of accepting there's a problem. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power. I've earned this platform and I've paid the price to get here, and now I have a responsibility to speak on behalf of the fans and everyone in this league that deserves better. Our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. I'm not concerned about a fine. I'm concerned about the future of our sport. At some point, everyone deserves to hear the truth from someone who I hope has earned the benefit of the doubt to fight for what is right and fair for our athletes and our fans. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. If I didn't know exactly what the job entailed, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But unfortunately for them, I do. We serve a league that has shown they think championship coaches and Hall of Fame players are dispensable, and that's fine. It's professional sports. But I will not stand quietly by and allow different standards to be applied at the league level. Thank you.
Your thoughts on those comments? Who wants to go first?
She did mince words. It was a well-crafted, deliberate, and I haven't publicly seen any comments from her peers that said anything that she said was wrong or out of bounds.
Will?
Yeah, I think it was. They're in the midst of a CBA negotiation, and I think they, as she said, those conversations were held behind closed doors for far too long, and she brought them to light. And as KP said, no one has attempted to discredit her, to say that that's not actually. Well, I'm sure we'll get to the response, but even in that wasn't a clear cut. I didn't say those things. It was like, well, there's some inaccuracy. So what's inaccurate? Did you say it or did you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just the time is now. What is it? Today is October 5th, so 26 days before the CBA expires. And it was very strategic, very true. I don't see anything that states what she said was false. But it was definitely a key bargaining chip used. I don't even think it's about. Well, it's about getting a new CBA, but I think it's about replacing leadership at the top of the WNBA.
And that clip, video, audio is courtesy of the WNBPA Instagram account, so the Women's National Basketball Players Association account. And I guess I'll this is what I'll say. What Fee said publicly, no lies were told. I did not agree, and I don't agree with Fee mentioning something that, according to her, Kathy said to her between the two of them at Unrivaled, like sitting courtside or whatever, because that seems like that's like an off-the-record conversation, and that's about Caitlin, and being all of that, being grateful. Caitlin should be grateful, and the WNBA provides that platform. That seemed like a conversation that something me and KP would have off record. I got a problem with that being made public. Okay.
But do we know that was the only time that topic was discussed?
I'm sure it wasn't. Like let me, and I'll say it again. No lies were told, and Kathy Engelbert's milquetoast reply, she didn't say it. She just, and then she said there was some inaccuracies made on social media, and she and Napheesa were supposed to meet, and Napheesa canceled that meeting because Kathy basically was in Kathy's way. I think he was calling Fee a liar. I didn't say those things. And okay, now they're still scheduled to meet. The owners and the Players Association are still scheduled to meet on October 9th. So that's the next meeting. That's not a one-on-one between Napheesa and Kathy Engelbert. So that's been canceled. That one-on-one has been canceled. That the relationship is beyond repair between Napheesa and Kathy Engelbert.
I mean, on a larger scale, you listen to the comments from Elena Deladon, which kind of validate what Fee said about, yes, Kathy Engelbert, she's business minded, coming from Deloitte. One of her weaknesses, at least perceived, is that she lacks the human connection. By Elena retires, has yet to hear directly from Kathy. Here's
But
one of the bases of the WNBA.
Yes, but is that the job of the commissioner of the league to reach out to a player and say, "I'm checking up on your health. How you doing?"
But still, it validates one of the points made is that Kathy is out of touch.
Kathy's not a people person.
In WNBA.
Okay, she is not a people person, and she's the first, official commissioner of the WNBA. Val Ackerman and Donna Orender were presidents of the WNBA, so the titles were different. I remember years ago having the sit downs and having the opportunity and the pleasure to sit down and talk with Donna Orender for early years in the league. So, 97, 98, 99. And she would, anytime she'd see me wherever, at Comet Games, Final Four, wherever. Kris, how you doing? Good to see you. Nice talking to you. Thank you for what you're doing for the league. All that kind of stuff. So it's more of a personal kind of thing. That is not Kathy. For everything I've read, seen, heard, that's not her. But Will, KP, does Brett Yormark, does Adam Silver, Roger Goodell reach out to a player who got injured? Hey, I'm just checking on you, see how you're doing.
Yes.
It's not just any player who got injured. Right. It's the status of the player who was injured.
Yep. So let me ask this. So Elena Deladon and her peak, what would her NBA equivalent be, in your opinion?
Dirk?
Would Adam Silver reach out to Dirk?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know about directly. Maybe one of his people. See, that's my thing. I don't know if the commissioner or the number two for the commissioner is gonna do those things.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems kind of like we're splitting hairs here. Got a commissioner of the league.
But then also
male, female, got a lot of things on their plate. It's gonna take time out to text Steph for LeBron or Fred VanVleet or KD. Hey, I saw you got injured, Fred. I'm just checking on you. How you're doing? Is Fred gonna be bummed that I heard Adam Silver today? I doubt that. I don't see that as the issue. I don't.
Fred's not on the level of Elena Deladon.
Yeah.
So is that the issue because it's a star player? The star player feels like I need to hear from the commissioner.
You're trying to grow the game. You're trying to grow the sport. You should do everything, goodwill, outreach, whatever it takes. You're trying to do better instead of just being like an afterthought of a league.
Yeah, if Dirk Nowitzki retired, I'm quite sure Adam Silver issued a statement. I'm quite sure he's 30,000 point scorer, top 5.
Yes, but see, now we're getting into semantics. Adam Silver issued a statement. Did he say that though, or was it a prepared statement?
What did Kathy Engelbert do?
Delegate to her number two.
But see, there we go. Who's to say that Adam Silver is not delegating to his number two, to Mark Tatum, to give the statement? You know what I'm saying?
It's public perception. It's public perception. We don't know because Dirk's never come out and said Adam Silver never reached out to me. I'm quite sure Adam Silver, the relationship that he has with players, he's a players commissioner. And I understand Kathy Engelbert is not.
Right. And that's not Kathy's way.
Right.
Okay. She is really Deloitte. She's numbers driven, all of those things.
All that being said, that's fine. For me, I mean, yeah, it should have reached out, but the fact that she said, and there's actually clips that someone else posted where they confirmed she did say those things about Caitlin Clark.
Oh yeah, like I said, no lies were told.
Yeah, so,
yeah,
that's tone deafness.
That is for sure, no question.
Tone deafness on her part to say. I mean, Caitlin came into the league with an 8-year, $28 million deal from Nike. She brought the platform.
Right.
So to say she should be, on her knees, taking her lucky stars that she has this platform. No, she brought the platform. So that's just tone deafness on her part.
Angel Reese did as well. No question that's tone deafness. And there are reports, Tom Friend, I talked about on Thursday's Takeover, Sports Business Journal. Before all this broke, Napheesa's comments, Tom Friend stated, according to his sources, that Kathy Engelbert was going to step aside once the collective bargaining agreement is reached. Friday, she said she's not stepping down. What do you think is going to happen? I think she's done. I think Adam Silver and owners say, yeah, you gotta go. We're going to be nice about it and have a nice public statement thanking you for your time and service to help get this agreement reached in November or December or whenever. I doubt it's by Halloween. But, we just thank you for your time and service, and we have begun a national search or a international search for our next commissioner of the WNBA.
Agreed.
Kennetra, do you think she's going to be asked to step aside or do it on her? Well, whatever.
I mean, we wish you well in all your future endeavors.
To quote the great orator Craig Mack, she won't be around next year.
Agreed. She won't. Or we could always do the tried and true. I think her contract's up. We decided not to renew her contract. Yeah. We decided to move in a different direction and not renew her contract. Thank you for your time. But regarding the CBA, do either of you believe that an agreement will be reached by the end of this month?
Not now.
I don't either. How soon do you think one will be reached?
I have no inside knowledge of how much progress has been made.
Very little.
I couldn't give a timeline.
My personal timeline is before the second season of Unrivaled begins. That's January 5th. Because I think it would be the WNBA is already receiving a black eye right now. So if they wait and don't get one done by then, Unrivaled, 42 of the top players in the WNBA participating in Unrivaled year 2, over and over again. They're going to hear it through the broadcasts on whatever platform they're on, TNT, I think, and even a new one. Well, this is the second year of Unrivaled. They have the highest paid players, average salaries for women's basketball players in the country. The WNBA is still on a labor stoppage shortage, whatever. That negative press won't be a good look. So that's what I think. It could be January 4th, Will, but something it'll be done before the start of Unrivaled season. That's on January 5th.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying kicking the can down the road and agreeing to an extension, because Engelbert said before game 1 of the WNBA finals that, it's possible that they could agree to an extension of the deadline. No, I think they will have an agreement reached before January 5th. Time will tell. All right. And by the way, game 2 games into the best of 7 series, the Las Vegas Aces are up 2-0 over the Phoenix Mercury, winning game 2 today, 91-78. Jackie Young scored 21 points in the third quarter. 21 points in the third quarter.
Third quarter.
After Asia Wilson scored 20 points in the first half for the Aces. So they got it. They're clicking now. Defense is rolling. Offense is rolling. Asia Wilson finally has help from her teammates consistently. Bench production, all those things. Alyssa Thomas missed 2 free throws at the end of game one that could have put the Aces, the Mercury ahead, if not win the game. And she was in foul trouble today. All right, how about this? Before we get into the Cougs and the Big
How
Ten.
comfortable is it going to be when the finals are over and Kathy has to present that trophy?
She's going to be booed. But what do you think can be done? Oh, it's going to be. I mean, other commissioners, Gary Bettman has been booed a lot in the NHL. For a while at NHL drafts, any Stanley Cup presentations, all of that stuff. He's been booed, and But what should be done to fix the officiating in the WNBA?
I mean, probably if you pay them better, so you can have dedicated professional officials who aren't like splitting time between the G League and college hoops and.
Will?
No, that's definitely always, money's always good. And
that's an issue in college officiating as well. And high school is specific. Oh man, it's really bad down here in Texas.
Yeah, here in Ohio as well. Yeah, definitely a dearth of officials. So, man, money's always a determining factor. But as you say, make them full-time officials, so they don't have 4 games and 6 nights or what have you in 3 different leagues. So,
yeah, I think it would help if. I mean, there are not enough of officials in the pipeline to be dedicated to one specific conference. So they got to go. I don't know how many, officials have. How many conferences officials are assigned? 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Ideally, be 1. But I think Big 12 officials and hoops are maybe going back and forth between Big 12, ACC. So if that's the case, that's a lot of travel. They're not flying charter, so they're flying commercial. Then they got to drive as well once they get there, from the airport. They got to drive to the game. So that's an issue. So, but they have to do something to increase the number of people who want to officiate and who don't want. And then the abuse and the personal abuse, the verbal abuse from adults needs to stop too. That's a reason. In addition to the money, some folks, why do I want to take this abuse from people who I don't even know? Why? I mean, I don't want to get threats. I don't want to be afraid that I'm going to be assaulted going to my car because somebody did not like my call against their child or something. That's a problem as well.
Essentially coming to tell you how to do your job.
Yeah. So that in high school, that's a huge issue in Houston, in the area. 3-person crews are now down to 2-person crews on some games because there's not enough people to call the games, to officiate the games. High school, AAU. At one point, my dad talked to me about becoming an official. No, sir. No, sir. I did not want to take the abuse. My knees couldn't take up the pounding on the court either. But at some point, I would have just told somebody to meet me outside. Because no. I couldn't do it.
You think about it, just on the local level. There are new high schools opening every year. And if you have freshmen and JV and varsity, boys and girls, You're not adding to the officiating pipeline as quickly as you're adding to the schools and adding games. So yeah, there's going to be a void in quality officials.
And it is a void. And it's not just the WNBA. I mean, we hear complaints about officiating in the NBA,
Mhm.
in men's college basketball, women's college basketball, in the NFL,
Mhm.
in college football. you know, so it's everywhere. It's an issue, needs to be corrected. It's going to take time to be corrected. Money's going to be needs to have more money involved, and it'd be great if it gets to a point where it's a full-time job for the officials, where they don't have to work a side gig or 2 or 3 other jobs in order to make ends meet. They're officials, year-round officials. All right, I hinted at it. Now I'm going to show first a picture, a tweet of it. Let me see if I can do this correctly here. There, and I love how the and that's probably Lauren Sampson who worded it. We put a ring on it. Um, Undefeated on the road, and you see 3 pictures of the rings, etc. And here is the video. These are nice rings. I mean, I'm gonna pause the video a few times so we can discuss what we see. Okay, because this is some impressive stuff. Oh, and by the way, I muted the sound because I don't want to get any problems, any issues with the social
Copyright.
media people, because I'm not paying the artist. I don't want to have any copyright issues, anything of that sort. So the sound is muted. But that's the Final Four ring. Okay. Well, it looks like a Ohio State kind of ring there. Well, it's got diamonds and all kinds of stuff in it.
Okay.
I love the detail on the inside of the ring. Undefeated on the road. Culture. Let me back it up here because I really love this part too. Culture at the base.
Mhm.
I tell you, the technology to make stuff like this, it is really impressive. And of course, the leader. Let me back up, get the leader, acknowledgement of the leader. Oops. Coach Sampson. Side there. So, and they're big rings too. I mean, but you see the detail, and every player has their name on their rings and all that kind of stuff as well. But notice this: the ring, top of it comes off,
Mm.
and it becomes a pendant. And underneath the ring is detail of downtown H-Town at the base of the ring. So they went all out on these rings.
And is that every player's number around the perimeter?
Yes, I believe so. Yes, and I'm going to say this, and they're the 3 championship rings: Big 12 regular season, Big 12 tournament, and Midwest regional championship ring or Final Four appearance ring as well. And there's the Final Four side of it as well. The ring, Final Four ring, reaching the Final Four. And again, there's a closer view of these, so it's like you can see the little design of the downtown buildings. Will,
Mhm.
what do you think, man? This. What are your thoughts on what
That's
this
nice.
is?
That's nice.
And I'm happy to say that the person behind the idea of the design of the rings, Miss Lauren Sampson, will be joining me this Thursday on the Takeover to discuss these rings, basketball, and it's almost like her annual preseason appearance with me on one of my shows on the Takeover to discuss what's going on in UH men's basketball. I'm looking forward to talking with her about these rings because this is some really impressive stuff. So yeah, there you go. You see Coach Sampson, Big 12 champs right there is a middle one. Then you got Final Four ring. So yeah, this is some really cool stuff. And as Miss Wanda Polk states, every year Lauren's designs get better and better. It's cool that this is like an annual thing that Lauren gets to create designs, come up with design concepts and ideas for the rings. But KP, did you have a chance to see the rings?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the design and the rings and everything?
I mean, they're a bit ostentatious for my taste.
Mine too.
But I do. I mean, like I said, I like the attention to detail of including every player's number. I like that. I think that was a nice touch.
So there we go with that. The rings for the Houston Cougars men's basketball championship team, and they were celebrated Saturday night, I think, before the football game between the Cougs and Texas Tech, in which Texas Tech, once the game started, showed that they are the best team in the Big 12 and took it to the Cougs, showed that the Cougs are not ready for the top tier of the Big 12 just yet, winning 35-11, dominating up front on both sides of the ball, defensive line, O-line. And then Cougs quarterback Connor Wegman got injured early, in the second quarter with a hockey designation, Will. An
Lower
upper body injury.
Oh, upper body. Yeah.
So
shoulder.
But the weird thing is we couldn't tell when he got injured in the upper body. Mm-hmm. Because on one of the past plays, one of the 10 times he received pressure in the first half alone, Will.
Yeah.
He threw the ball and then was taken down, and it's like the defensive lineman kind of rolled on his foot. Mm. So when he got up, he was limping and hobbling down because I think he completed the pass on that play. Mm-hmm. But a few plays later, he was not in the game. And then we hear that he has an upper body injury. So did not see where that happened. Zeon Kris came in and threw a touchdown pass and gave the Cougs life. And then reality set in the second half, and he returned to being the Zeon Kris we all know. Zeon Kris Gramillion is his name this year. Zeon Kris Gramillion. He was Zeon Kris last year. Okay. He's now Zeon Kris Gramillion this year.
Fair enough.
He's still better runner than he is passer, unfortunately. But speaking of football, Mr. Gibson, please share your thoughts on the news regarding the possibility of Big Ten and private capital.
When, not if.
Why?
Why? Minimum $100 million paydays for each of the 18 schools.
And for what purpose?
For what purpose?
Yeah.
To benefit the athletic departments of each school. That's what the funds are going to be used for. I mean, Tony Petitti and
but is it going to be?
There are a couple holdouts right now. They're waiting for unanimous participation. There are a couple holdouts.
And one of those holdouts is who?
The team up north.
And what about the other holdout?
Oh, the other holdout, the Ohio State University. Yeah.
Okay, and why? Because give me your thoughts on Ohio State being the holdout.
Those teams are the straws that started the drink in the Big Ten.
Correct.
Like, okay, well, there's some, and this part will never be said out loud, but there's some
Until you say it.
until I say it. I don't know. I might go Shador on you, but no.
And be a mime.
Yeah, I might. Well, that's another story. But there's some thought that in order for the agreements of those two schools to come, there are looking to be some additional financial considerations, seeing that those two schools have carried the brunt of the responsibility fiscally for the conference for so long. And, basically, why should we be lumped into the pot with everyone else?
And you're talking without saying, you're saying uneven revenue distribution.
One might say that.
I get it. I understand it. That the Longhorns wanted that issue in the Big 12. That's one of the reasons why they joined the SEC. It's weird. I'm kind of torn because I always like to say to players, the coaches, to whoever, get that money. But if you are in a conference, as a member of a conference, why should we have uneven revenue distribution? We all know that there are top tier teams in every conference, and there are bottom feeders in every conference. Those top tier teams make money in other ways, because in merchandise sales that the lower teams don't. So why do you need to get more money on top from media partners, because you're already getting more money on top because of who you are? So I do have a problem with the Ohio State and the team up north if they're going to get, let's see, each get 10% of the private capital, and the other, was it 16 teams split the other 80%? So that's 5% each.
5%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's that pronounced of a gap, but I think it's more so, the rationale of why would Ohio State and, let's say, Rutgers be on equal footing, or let's say Purdue be on equal footing, when Purdue, yeah. So those are thoughts.
Right.
Nothing's been definitively decided.
But you say it's inevitable.
Sir?
You say it's inevitable?
Yeah, at some point, yes. I believe it's going to be inevitable. It's going to be inevitable. I think they're pretty far down the line. It's just a when it's going to happen versus if it's going to happen.
And and I guess in my one of my takes on this, Kennetra, please chime in your thoughts on it as well. As a member, Michigan and Ohio State have been the bell cows of the Big Ten for forever, and there have been bottom feeders like Northwestern forever. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't an issue of uneven revenue distribution in 1990 or 80. Michigan still making money hand over fist then.
Actually, they're not.
Michigan
operates in a deficit in the athletic department. They actually operate in a deficit.
Well, I mean, that's a whole other issue. But in terms of revenue they get from media partners, I mean, we can talk about why that is, about allocation of spending and mistakes and paying people on buyouts and other reasons. But those are you problems. That's those issues should not be reasons, in my opinion, for you to still want more, a different amount from your media group than the bottom feeders. Because I mean, one of the issues in the Big Ten and private capital is the grant of rights being extended to 2046
Yep.
to supposedly keep the blue blood programs from forming a super league. Allegedly, yeah. So where does this end? Because as well, KP knows this, big bank takes little bank. If at some point in the next 25, 30 years, the Super League forms, there's going to be somebody among that Super League who is not on the same level as Ohio State and Texas. So will they get uneven revenue distribution? I mean, when does this end? Yeah, well, we're a bigger brand than you are, Bama or whoever, or Miami or whatever. We're bigger than you nationally than you. So you're gonna take less money than us and like it. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just endless, and I mean, it's college football makes the world go round. Football makes the world go round, makes America go round. It's just another reason why I stopped really following football. So whatever. Mr. Gibson.
Yes, sir.
Give us an update about Los Browns.
They lost in London today, 21-17.
And who was the quarterback?
Dylan Gabriel was the quarterback.
And what game is this for the Browns this season?
This is week 5.
I believe one of the 3 members of this panel said that around week 5 or so, maybe 6, that the Browns would make a change at starting quarterback.
I think I remember that now that you say it.
Mr. Gibson, do you know who that person was?
I remember. Now that you say that, I do remember that. Yeah.
Salute to you again for being correct, sir. I'm giving you your flowers again for sports, as you state. Will know sports. Correct.
Thank you, sir.
So go ahead.
No, go please.
I was going to ask you. So what happened in the game? Did the offense struggle, or whatever?
No, actually, Dylan Gabriel played very well considering. And I threw for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did very, very, very well. The defense was the culprit this time. The Browns were up 17-14, and the ultimate 2-minute drive, Minnesota went on I think it was a 12-play, 80-yard drive, and with 30 seconds left, threw the 12-yard touchdown pass to Jordan Addison to win the game, 21-17. So the defense can only do so much. I mean, the defense, the press clippings are going to say the defense let the team down, but the defense has been the bell cow this entire season, and they just picked the wrong time to let to allow a scoring drive. But this defense has been playing lights out. Number 1 defense in the league the entire season. It's the offense that hasn't held up their end of the bargain. And you saw some flashes today. Dylan Gabriel, I must give him credit where credit is due. He did play well, considering this was his first start. And 4 of the 5 offensive linemen, projected starters, were playing today. Left tackle was the only position that was without the projected starter. DeJuan Jones was out for the season. So that helped a lot that Jack Conklin was back and 4 to 5 offensive linemen were available. But at the end of the day, they're still 1-4. Coming back stateside to play the Steelers in Pittsburgh in week 6. So, I mean, the schedule lightens up a little bit as you go on. I think later on in the season they have the Dolphins. They have 49ers. Well, that's not even that's not going to be a lightweight either. But they do have
They do have the Titans.
So they do have some quote unquote winnable games, but people thought Penn State at UCLA was a winnable game yesterday, and we saw that win. But this, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they're 1-4, coming home again to play at Pittsburgh next week. Dylan Gabriel has some things to build upon. The wide receivers, though, they still have a lot to be desired. The complaints, they didn't allow him to throw the ball more than 15 yards down the field. Mm. And, he's a rookie making his first start. Brian Flores is a premier defensive coordinator. He's not going to allow this rookie to come in and just run roughshod over his defense. So the Vikings have all defensive players that get paid as well.
Right.
They go to the pay window on Mondays as well. So everyone's just going to let him do whatever. So Kevin Stefanski, knowing that, crafted a game plan that was going to allow him to, get acclimated. So we'll see if they open it up next week in Pittsburgh or subsequent weeks. But that's pretty much where it was after today.
Have the Browns already played the Ravens?
They play week 2 in Baltimore. They still
is that the Ravens' one win?
That is the Ravens' one win. That is the Ravens' one.
How about that?
Yep.
I hope that the viewers had a chance to watch the Ad Max Corner with Adolphus Moore as he recapped the Texans' beatdown of the Ravens. What was it, 44-10? Right?
44-10. C.J. Stroud, 4 touchdown passes, 4 incompletions.
And so the Ravens are now, 1-4? Right?
Yes.
Giving up the most points after 5 games in history of their franchise.
They have.
So what does that mean? The Ravens 1-4
Harbaugh
start.
said he's not getting rid of his DC.
What's that?
Harbaugh said he's not getting rid of his DC.
Yep.
A lot of injuries on that side too. Injuries happen in sports. Injuries happen in football. Mm-hmm. The Niners are banged up.
Yep.
They're 4-1, right?
They are.
So I guess it's different ways. Different teams handle injuries, and of course, it depends on the personnel who's injured. But well, you touched on it.
Yeah,
you said it. You mentioned it. UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Just your thoughts, both of y'all. UCLA beating Penn State.
My thoughts?
Yes.
James Franklin.
say less.
Say less. James, it's one thing to be 4-21 against top 10 teams in your career at your school, like James Franklin is since he's been at Penn State. 4-21. 4 wins, 21 losses against top 10 opponents. That's one thing. But to lose to a previously winless team with an interim coach and an interim play caller. Jerry Neuheisel became the play caller on Wednesday.
Yes.
UCLA has scored 57 points in 4 games before yesterday and scored 42 against Penn State.
And I think they never led in the first 4 games, right?
No.
Kennetra, your thoughts on the loss, Penn State to UCLA?
Yeah, it's a head scratcher.
42 points in 1 game against a 2 preseason top 2 teams, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are now out of the top 25 poll.
Yep.
KP, who's the other one?
Texas.
She's just no fun. I love her to pieces, but she doesn't go along with the ribbing.
Good question. Get an answer.
Shout out to the Florida Gators stepping up for their coach Billy Napier yesterday. Sorry, I'll help.
I didn't see the game. I glanced at the stat line. Arch had 2 TDs and 2 picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is he? I mean, is he the problem or one of the problems?
I think he's one of them. I mean, they're lacking, playmakers as they've had in years past. So, more is expected of him, but he doesn't quite have the same caliber of resources as the program has had past couple of years. But I mean, they were lethargic. They were undisciplined. They were affected by the crowd noise. A lot of penalties. Yeah.
Well, when does the Cavs start preseason?
Tuesday against the Pistons, I believe.
Is that right?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Nope. I'll pay attention in 3 weeks. Okay.
So you have to think about it. Like, well, I know it's Tuesday, and I'm pretty sure it is the Pistons.
Okay, because the Rockets open preseason tomorrow against the Hawks. Game will be in H-Town, so I'll try to catch. I'll look at it and maybe do a post game show for 20 minutes. I'm kind of curious to see who plays for the Rockets tomorrow. Who plays for both teams in the first preseason game for both for this season. That'll do it, Brother Gibson. I am going to give you the floor here, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, I want to say this before I give you the floor. Mm-hmm. I saw on your IG some of the pictures from your daughter's the homecoming?
Homecoming, yeah.
That was nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was nice. She was happy. And who took the pictures? You or your wife?
My wife.
She was nice. Looked like everybody had a good time. And we'll talk about the other stuff. How you did afterwards, after.
Yeah, let's hold tight. Stay tuned.
Air. Yeah,
off air. I don't want to put that out. Stay tuned.
All right, brother. The floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, as always. You can find me on social media. I'm still on Twitter at WillGibson7, on IG and Threads at Will Knows Sports, and as well as Facebook, Will Knows.
Ms. Pulliams?
No change.
No change? Okay. I am KG Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. Thank you for watching today's Folks Talkin Sports show on whichever platform you watched. I'm happy to say it's streaming on Twitch for the first time. I figured that out. I got it working there. So that'll be a different platform for some of the live stream shows. Shows also on YouTube via the Houston Roundball Review, as well as on Facebook and my personal page on Facebook, and maybe even on LinkedIn. Let's try something different today on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if it worked or not. Who knows? So if it did, that's 5 different destinations for people to reach, for people who are interested in advertising on this show or the other shows like the Ad Max Corner, Let's Talk Houston Rockets, the Houston Roundball Review Takeover that streams on Roku via the BS3 network, and of course, Let's Rage Cougs, Andy and a young lion, Will and KP Kenneth Bowman, he is sharing his insight with Andy and Day on Paul Slamma Jamma and a few others. He's part of Cougs TV on campus. They did streamed a pregame show Saturday for the first time. So that's another avenue and outlet that we're going to try, especially during Big 12 basketball season, conference games. The Cougs have, I think, 10 games on the weekend, and 9 of those are on Saturday. So might do some pregame shows in addition to the postgame shows for Let's Rage Cougs. So thank you to everyone for watching on whichever platform you watched. I am, of course, KG Kris Gardner. Subscribe to this channel on YouTube at Houston Roundball Review. And wrapping it up, no outro music. I'm ending that. But my outro remains the same. It's part of who I am. since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Y'all take care. Peace.